stronger than the weight of their way of life, they had a sudden insight into the nature of machinery. They perceived that a machine, any machine, if left to itself, tends to establish its own conditions, to create its own environment and draw men into it. The warship was a harbinger of a whole system of technical innovation that has created a whole new kind of world for us. To put it another way, this system of innovation would bring the end of the world as they knew it. In the world of 2016, it is taken for granted that innovation is a good thing. If you listen to men, machines, and modern times through this 21st century lens, you might take it as a how-to guide in overcoming benighted resistance to change. This was the reaction of politician Newt Gingrich in his 2002 online review on the book's Amazon sales page. Gingrich lauds it as, purely and simply, one of the best books ever written on the process of innovation and of technology, culture, systems, and individual personalities. Anyone interested in the process of transformation or the development of technological change should read it, Gingrich writes, especially those dealing with military or health systems. But improving technological systems is not Morison's goal. Instead, he warns of a basic incompatibility with technical innovation and social stability. His concern about this incompatibility grows stronger between the beginning and the end of Men, Machines, and Modern Times. In Gunfire at Sea, the opening essay, Morison recommends an adaptive society in which humans adapt to their own technological changes. By the last essay, titled Some Proposals, he recommends an experimental society that will collectively weigh and sort through innovations, accepting some and rejecting others. He writes, "Means must be discovered for society to keep charge over its own nature and direction." The experimental society of Some Proposals does not necessarily adapt to its technological means, but finds other means to control its ends. However, the proposals Morison suggests for doing this are awkward and at times illogical. While challenging the assumption that innovation is a good thing, he is unable to find ways to direct it wisely from within an innovation-centric society. But then, who has solved this puzzle? Morison is not at his best when he takes on the guise of a social scientist. He is at his best as a humanist, which makes sense for someone who began his scholarly career teaching literature at MIT. The rest of his career, it might be said, is one long struggle to find language adequate to his historical insight. When he writes that a system of technical innovation brings into being a whole new kind of world for us, he opens a quest both for himself and for the reader to understand what world means in this context. It is not just a world of things, but also of consciousness, thoughts, feelings, beliefs. One of his favorite terms for this new world is environment, which he refines by making a distinction between the natural environment and the artificial one of our own contriving, of which the structures, rhythms, and reactions are not always nicely scaled to human responses. He also likes to use the term surround, which may be technological or cultural, as more or less a synonym for environment. For all his hesitation about innovation, Morison was a great innovator as an historian. Although he completely missed the late 20th century expansion of the social horizon of historical study, he expanded the horizon in another way. He turned the history of technology from a study of machines to a study of humans. Instead of asking only, who invented this, and how does this thing work, he also asked, what does it mean to live in a technological age, in a technological world? To write this new kind of history, Morison innovated in form and style. As a writer of big books, he specialized in biography-based studies of great men, for example, Sims, Theodore Roosevelt, and Henry L. Stimson. In writing about this new self-created environment, he turned to the personal essay as his preferred form. The contents of this volume are essays, mostly short, one long, but all using a stance and tone congruent with the root meaning of essay, which is to give it a try, to experiment, to explore. The form is consonant with an elevated writing style, and everyone who reads Morison's work